Hey, 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 how you doing, my little beauties? It's David Connolly here, the web developer extraordinaire. I'd like to invite and I'd like to welcome you to this live stream. It's another 2-hour one here. Yesterday was a really good day. The day before was a good day. I've had 2 good days. From a coding perspective, of course. And if I can have a day that was anything like yesterday, then I'll be pretty pleased, because I thought it went well, you know. So we're continuing with this video player, and the reason why this is a 2-hour thing is because, well, it pretty much has to be, unfortunately. Anyway, let me just take my fuel here. Drink 'em if you've got 'em, folks. Drink 'em if you've got 'em. Here's to you. All right. So, let's get going with this. I have a little bit of C64 music here. And I think I'm just about ready. Okay, so we're talking about the video player here. And I think we did manage to do some pretty good work last time, you know. Now this is something else I'm working on, so let me just get rid of this. Alright, so here we are, and it's this video player right here. Now I'm going to try a wee experiment, a little experiment. There's something I'm curious about. Suppose I go into this test view page here, and you can see it's calling video player views, it's calling draw video player. And we've got this video container. Now suppose I was to say width is 100%. Okay, suppose I was to say maximum width is 1200. What do you think's going to happen? Well, there's your answer. What if we said maximum width is 600? What do you think's going to happen now? Oh. Well, I don't know what you reckon, but to me that looked like stuff. Stuff happening. I'm going to say border 4 pix red solid, and what I'm focusing on. I got you. Okay, so let's just say margin 0. Auto. Now you can just about see a little video container there, and we've got a script here called videoplayer.js, and it initializes the video player and then it builds the video player. But there's something that I would like to do here. You can see that we've got a video container here. So I'm going to say that once we've added this video onto the screen here, I'm going to say adjust video player size. Now, adjust video player size is going to go like this. Vid dot set attribute width, and the width is going to be equal to the video container dot offset width. Let's just try that. Oh, it's so damn good.
Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
And I tell you, it's so good, it actually figures out what the height should be automatically. And what a gift. I never knew it would do that. That's an excellent piece of news. It saves me a wee bit of extra work. So if I look at this video player page, I can make this any width that makes you feel good. For example, 1000 pixels wide. And there it is, now it's a wide.
Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
Now the really cool thing about this is that if I inspect this and go to a little tiny device like this and refresh, well, now you can see it's a much smaller thing, and when I hit play, it chooses a different video based on the size, and that is absolutely fantasticola. That's what I wanted. That's beautiful. Now there's another thing that I want to do here. When we change back, I don't want it to be like this. So what we're going to do with that is we are going to get an event listener, and it's going to be an event listener for resize. And when we get this resize thing, we're going to adjust video player size. So check this out. Well, actually, let's be a wee bit clearer about this. I'm going to say var built vid player equals false. And at the point where we build the video player, then I'm going to change built video player to true. And on adjust video player sizes, I'm just going to say if built video player is true, then we go like this. And what that means is that when the screen size changes, this player should adjust and it should look beautiful. So here we are on a big giant screen. If we switch, okay, adjust video player size is not defined. Okay, well, let's check that. Okay, this should probably go down here. You can see the player is adjusting here. Now we have a wee challenge with some JSON stuff on the page, which we can definitely get rid of. So there's a beautiful video player. There you go. Now see this play button, I don't want it to be too big. I mean, even though that may look nice, it doesn't look nice to me. So for the big play button, I'm gonna say maximum width is 25%. That's a wee bit better. There you go. So now you can see that our video player is looking absolutely beautiful. Here's an iPad. Here's it's flipped. Here's an iPad Pro. Here it's flipped. And here's a big screen. Isn't that just beautiful? And we do have our play button. It's just beautiful. Alright, nice. Very nice. That's a good start to the day. So, okay, I'm going to just say adjusting video player size now working. Very nice. Wouldn't it be good if I could finish this thing early? You never know. Well, we have the mighty gear in the house. And not only that, but Average Joe has showed up. It's been a while, Average Joe. Nice to see you. And always good to have you here, Gear. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate it. You are my motivation and you are my inspiration. Doesn't this video player look kind of nice? I think it looks pretty good. I like it. I like it a whole lot. So, now I'm going to add the controls and stuff like that. But I'd like to refer to my old code before I get stuck into this. So let me have a wee look here. Okay, so I had a video. And then I had some things. Okay. Okay, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to paste in this seek slider and also the controls here. I think that those two things are kind of important. So, these things are going to go immediately after I'm just thinking, where on earth are they going to go? Well, here's what you could do. You could go like this. Right. Okay, so these are all saying opacity of 0. So let's just refresh this. Maybe move this up to the right hand side. Okay, well, I'll change the opacity back to 1. Okay, so clearly a wee bit of styling is required here. Now, let's see if we can figure that out. Do we have some CSS here? Yes, we do. All right. Okay, what I'm going to do with this, and you can do this, it's a legal move. I'm going to do link, and I'm going to link to the video player module CSS Trongate video player.css. Well, don't it make you feel good? Don't it make you feel good, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Now let's have a new file. We'll call it videoplayer.css. And as good as this is, it's not quite on the money, you know. So I'm going to copy this. Okay. Now, let's see what we've got here. I'm going to go up. In fact, let me take this stuff here. I'm going to copy that. Chuck it into here. Now this is for the video container and the big play button. So I'm going to take those out. Okay. Now I get the feeling that there's media queries messing with this. I could be wrong. Okay. Plan B. This is kind of weird. Why is it doing that? I'm trying to get this thing to create a new folder. New folder. Here we go. So I'll just call this one junk. Real junk. Okay, so the plan here is to take out all of the stuff that's causing problems here. Bring back just the styles that we know are good. Everything else goes into real junk. Okay, And basically I'm going to just reintroduce these bits and pieces slowly, you know. So, what have we got here? Well, if we inspect, you can see we've got a video with an ID of video player. Now this video player with position absolute, I think that's going to break everything. And it does. So that was the thing that was causing the issue. So let's let me just look at what I'm happy with here, and I'm pretty happy with all of this. Well, I think I am. I think I'm happy with all of that. I hope that this does not break stuff. Oh, that's pretty darn good. Okay, not too bad. That's not too bad. Now, there's something that I'm kind of curious about. But we'll deal with it in a minute. Right now I want to just see what happens when I change these to opacity of 0. Okay, not a whole lot. Okay, now let's go back to the build video player thing. And okay, I'm going to take all of these values here and I'm going to move them here. Of course, there's a couple of them that, well, actually there's a few of them that require PHP. So all of the ones that require PHP, they are going to stay here. So I'll keep the not authorized URL in there as well, because we may need that. So there's our kind of essential settings here. And over on this file, I'm going to get rid of the settings that include PHP, because this is a JavaScript file. There you go. Alright, cool. Now, okay, there's a whole bunch of settings here that I may or may not even need. So, let me just chuck them in and take out the ones that we've already got. Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now over on the page here, we've got seek slider container and we've got player controls. And here they are here, right? So, I'm going to do a wee experiment here. Let's change the opacity back to 0. No, in fact, keep it on this for the moment. And just thinking here. I wonder, is it possible when we build this thing, right, I'll add a little set timeout. Now this is me just experimenting. Okay, here we go. So I know that looks a bit pointless, but let's just see what happens. Okay, so we removed those things, right? Now, is it possible? No. I've never done this before. Let's try again. JavaScript reposition elements. Reordered elements in the DOM. That's what I want to do. That is exactly what I want to do. Ah, okay. Alright, let's try something a wee bit strange. Let's just say video container append child of seek slider container video container append child of video controls. Now the question is, do you think that's going to move these things away? Place your bets. Well, I think it did. I think it moved them. Now it may have moved them to a rather rubbish kind of a place. But it certainly did move them alright. So let's try a wee experiment now. Let's go back to our video container here. And we're going to look at the... See how it says flex container? Let's add in flex direction of column and try and get them to stack. Okay. That's pretty cool. And that actually is fine. So let's have a look at this. I'd like to see what it is that's given this thing its width. Well, actually, the seek slider is fine. Or maybe not. But let's talk about the player controls. The player controls 636 by 40. Where is it getting that from? Let's add a width of 100%. Oh, now that looks good. Okay, so the player controls, where on earth are they? The player controls are going to have a width of 100%. There they are. We've got that wee delay kicking in there, which is fine. Now this seek slider thing. Okay, so this is seek slider container. Now for the moment I'm going to just say border is 1 pix red solid. Okay, that's pretty good. So when we do this, right, now for some reason the size of this thing is being changed and I have no idea why. So let's have a look at that. So alright, let's just add in width 100%. Oh, there you go. That's excellent. That's really, really excellent. Oh, that's fantastic. That is totally fantastic. Okay. So, do you see how it's loading? And you see it sitting there and then boom, and then it goes into position. Well, now we're going to take this whole idea a little bit further. Going to go into this thing and we are going to give this an opacity of 0. Just for the moment. You could actually even say display none. So if you look at the right, let's go. Okay. So where we've got this, I'm going to say width is 100%. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Okay, good. Now these things here, these seek sliders and what have you, they have a display of flex and the other one, which is called player controls, that also has a display of flex. So here's what we're going to do with this. Instead of saying style opacity is 0, we're going to say style is display of none. There you go. In fact, let's go further. Let's say style is display none and opacity is 0. Okay, so now when we load this thing, we just get the video player and everything looks kinda cool. And what happens here is we add on these things, but in fact I think that this stuff should go here, and I'm gonna say for the seek slider container and this thing, dot style dot display equals flex. Then we'll say opacity equals 1. Okay, let's do that again. Okay, let's go again. Okay, now I'm going to take this set time out away here. Ah, good. Very good. Right, now I'm going to test the resize feature. So we'll just make sure. Okay, could do with a wee bit of work there. But it's actually not too bad. It's not too bad at all. So now what I'm going to do is let's go into the CSS here. Where on earth is that thing? Ah, here it's here. Okay, so what I'm going to say with this one is top. Now let's just take a guess. Minus 30 pixels. Position. Relative. Now by the way, I don't want to do that to the video player. I just realised that. It's only for these two things. Okay, let's try that. Alright, now you can see that that had the effect of moving everything up and kind of breaking everything, if I'm being honest. Our seek slider looks garbage there. So let's take this out. So here we are again. Let me add a little border in. Okay. Ah, right, okay. So it's this thing. So let's copy the selector. And let me just ID is seek slider. Alright, well let me just go. Okay, that looks good. Okay. So let's try this vibe again. Top minus 30 pixels. Position. Relative. Okay, let's go like this. Yeah, that's kind of good. Now, instead of saying width is 100, I'm going to say that the width is 70 just for the moment. Okay, that's fine. Now the reason why I'm doing that is so that I can find the exact number. That I want here. Aha, right, okay. Let's get rid of these miserable red borders. Okay. No. Maybe this is the wrong way to do this. Maybe I should be saying it doesn't matter. Don't want to overthink this. Oh, my lady Wonder Wench is on the phone. Hello? I'm good, How are you? Oh, thanks. It's nice to hear from you. I'm just live streaming here and doing a wee bit of work on the new Speed Coding Academy site, you know? Yeah. Yep. What you been up to yourself? Oh, well, what can I tell you? That's the way it goes, eh? But hey, at least you're earning. I'm sitting here with about 60 in the bank, you know. but it's fine. Aye, everything's going to be fine. I'm going to sell. I've got a couple of things I can sell, and funny thing is, YouTube's kind of came quite good lately. Apart from some incredible donations from people like Gear and others, well, I've also noticed that for a few days this week I went up to $2 per day, which I'm amazed at. Like, can you believe it? YouTube is actually giving me $2 a day for posting my ranting bullshit. So I was pretty surprised, and I have to tell you, pretty chuffed, you know. Yep. So like I say, I'm just plodding away. Obviously, it's a tough time, innit? I never saw anybody yesterday, you know. Nobody. Did you see anybody yesterday? Do you do it in person? Oh, right, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Well, I never saw anybody, and I tell you, it's a very weird day, innit, when you don't see people. It's like, I mean, I'm absolutely fine, but you can imagine how it's the kind of thing that would, or could, potentially make somebody a wee bit miserable. I mean, I'm not throwing hints or anything, I'm just saying, you know, it's like, it's kind of strange, innit? But, anyway, it looks like we're all heading back to the Pleasure Dome anyway, courtesy of this new Oni Chrome or whatever it's called, you know? That's the one. Glad you got the name right. It's always nice to know what the name of our killers, you know? They've only shut the borders to France. They said you can go anywhere, but on no account France. I know, it's just the way it goes. But don't worry, you know, I think, like, I've been following... Look, everybody's a friggin' expert today, aren't they? Everybody's an expert, especially me. But I've been following that Dr. Campbell's channel. And I have faith in the man, you know. He reckons it's going to be... he reckons everything's going to be cool. And, aye. I think it's the greatest thing ever. I mean, I think that this is going to save... I mean, it's a total guess. We're all playing Russian roulette with the fate of humanity here. But I think that, based on what he's saying... we're all going to walk away from this thing with super immunity, you know? And if you believe that, you'll believe anything. Aye. Well, I'm still waiting on the super immunity. So far, I've just had super weight gain, you know? I tell you, if they ever make pie eating an Olympic event, I'm in for the gold medal here, you know? Yep. Aye. Anyway, what else is... anything else happening in your universe that's exciting? Alright. Well, that's the way it goes. Never mind. You could be a developer, right? Look at everything you're missing out on here. Alright, okay. So when's your next one? Okay, that's good. That's good. You enjoy it though, right? Right, okay. Well, that's cool, you know. If you enjoy it, then that's great. Alright. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Well, oh, is it your last ones today? Ah. Okay, that's cool. Well, congratulations and all of that. I hope, you know, that's cool. I'm glad, and 3 cheers, you know. Yep. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it might be a bowl of steam from me as far as lunch goes, you know, but... Aye, okay, well, give me a shout. Give me a shout, and maybe I'll talk to you later tonight as well if you want, you know. Alright, alright. Well, have a good one then, and thanks a lot for fun. How's Blackie doing? Oh, good. Okay. Oh, good, that's excellent. Ah, that's the style. Okay. Great, great. Well, I'm certainly glad to hear it. Alright. Well, thanks again for phoning, and I'll talk to you soon, okay? Alright, cheerio now. Bye. Alright, well, apologies for that. Anyway, yes, I can talk on the phone, and code at the same time, you know? Yes, I can. Okay, so why is this play button not centered? That's kind of strange. Maybe it is centered. Is that my eyesight failing me? Maybe it is centered. No, there's no way that is centered. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Okay. I kind of got some ideas on how to do this, but I'm just going to look it up to be sure. JavaScript, adjust, element, position to center. Okay. Alright, forgive me there, I was just putting on some heat. Okay, so vertical center an image, left and right, left and right. Center vertically using padding. Right, okay. So how does that work? Center vertically using line height. Okay, it looks like could padding be the way to go here? I doubt it. I doubt it a whole lot. Pardon me. Nah, that's not happening. Okay, so here's what we'll do then. Let's go to the JavaScript here. And if we've built the player, then we can say right, let's call on JavaScript get bounding rect. Pardon me. So this is something here that gives us some useful stuff. Now check this out. Check this out. We're gonna say that let's get rid of this let bullshit. Right, var element is, well, let's just say that it's vid. Okay, so this is going to be vid here. So we're talking about our vid, or you could even say video container, but probably vid is fine. No, let's say video container. Okay, now what we're going to do next is we're going to just say console.log key and value, clear this little beauty, and all we're looking for is some nice little console.logs here over on the right hand side. Here we go. Okay, now this is giving us a Y position. Funnily enough, it's given us a top position that appears to be the same as the Y position. Now, why would it do that? Well, I think it basically means the same thing. So we know what the top of this thing is, right? So here's what we can do. Let's say var video height is vid.offset height. Now I'm going to console.log and say video height is a little video height. I made a discovery over these last few days, you know. Right, that's looking good. That's excellent. Okay, so we've got our video height coming in here. And then if you look at the console.logs, we've got a thing that says top, and it also happens to say Y. So we can say console.log top position is, and I'm going to say that the top position is rect top. Let's do that, and we're going to refresh, keep an eye on the consoles, Okay, that's looking excellent. Now, var target right, let's try something. Let's say for the big play button, as much as it's totally mad, let's say top is 0. It moves it up to the top. Now let's say we said top is 20. Does it move it down? Yes, it does. So we can then say var target top position equals, now it's going to be this rect top plus the video height divided by 2. Let's chuck in some little brackets for clarity. Alright, and now I'm going to say big play button dot style dot top equals target top position plus pixels. Right, okay, but that actually was not too bad, because all I have to do then is take the height of the big play button. So if I say var big play button height is big play button dot offset height, so then what I'm doing is we're going to say that the target position is all of this stuff in a bracket, subtract, and we're going to subtract the big play button height divided by 2. Let's try that. Oh, you miserable swine, you. Okay, let's try this. I don't know what the heck I'm doing here. Oh, gee. Right, let's just do something crazy. Minus 300. Is anything working here? Alright, so at least we can do that. So, pardon me. Right, let me just console.log. Well, the big play button height is big play button height. Alright, here we go. Now it says there that the big play button height is 0. Okay. Alright, so let's just say console.log big play button dot outer HTML. I want to just see if we've got the friggin' button. Yes, we have. Okay, so perhaps what we could do is maybe we could take this, do a little set timeout, and wait like half a second. Copy this, Chuck it in here. Right, so we've now got this big play button height here. So I'm going to go back to big play button height divided by... Oh no, don't crash. That's okay. Here we go. Alright, okay, did you see the adjust there? What a friggin' joke. Let's just try something else. Times. Alright, let me just play around with this a wee bit. Okay, so let me flip this. Well, it certainly looks kind of okay. Can't you see the play button moving? You can see that happening there, right? So let's try this again. So if we make it a tiny little phone, the play button is now moving into position. Okay, let's try that. Let's try this. That's pretty darn good. Now this is a wee bit confusing up here. Ah. Okay, so somebody is on their phone and they flip it, and then the phone turns into an iPad Pro, and then they flip that, and then they flip it again, and then they turn it into a Pixel 2, and they flip that, and they turn it into a little tiny iPhone X, and then they turn it into a big screen. Okay, cool. So it would appear then that all I have to do to bring this thing to life is okay. Okay, we're going to take this out. Take this out. Just cleaning up here. Okay, now let's look at this big play button. You can see that it starts off with an opacity of nothing. So if I take this line out here and go like this, we cannot see it. If I then move this opacity thing right down here, we get that. You wouldn't even know that all of that cool stuff had just happened in the background. Yeah. I think that's it. Alright, now let's go to the video player container here. You can see it says width is 100%. Let's make it that the width is 90%. So there's our video player. And why, oh why, is it doing that? Okay, well, I think that this value is going to have to change depending on the screen size. Okay, let's just see why that is not happening. So I'll chuck in a wee background colour. Okay, now let's go on to our video player module here. I'm going to take this out, refresh. Right, that's solid, it's not moving left or right. So let's bring it back. And then it moves again. Now the fact that that's moving is telling me that there's something on this page that is most definitely messing up this whole damn thing. And looking at the logic, it has to be the controls here. Has to be. So let's copy and take those out. Refresh. And that is as solid as okay, that's as solid as a rock. Now let's see, is it a particular thing that's breaking it? Is it this thing up here that's breaking it? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And if I take this one out here, okay, good. So it's the slider thing that is causing the issue. That should be quite an easy fix. Now, I'm gonna just try a little experiment here. And just for the moment, I want to take that out. And I want to just take a wee minute. Ah, you miserable swines. Okay, well, let's try something else. Let's take this whole thing out here. So that's... damn it. Let's try. Did I not have that working a minute ago? Well, that is a wee bit of an irritation. Unfortunately, there is something breaking this page, and I don't know what it is. I think that this is more of a browser thing. Okay, so if I go and take this out, if it's still doing that. Okay, what I'm predicting is that this is 100% fine and it's just Chrome doing that. Right. Damn. It's as if it's zoomed in, you know? Okay. Right, that is solid. Let's go to an iPhone X. Okay. Right, I'm going to slowly reintroduce these things. Alright, video container should be cool. Let's bring these things back. Come on. And now it's just disappeared. Oh, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. There you go. Right, so it's starting its bullshit again. So, hard reload. Right, that is as solid as a rock. Alright. So we'll go like this. I'm going to find out what thing is breaking this. Right. So right here, we are good. Now, these should both have a display type of none. And unless I'm very much mistaken, that means that when this page loads, they should not affect anything. It's probably only here when we start this stuff that the problems all start. So let me just see. Oh yeah, that's right. So those things are on the page. If I inspect, they are here, there they are, but they've got a display type of none, which means that that transition is totally stupid, innit? Let's get rid of that. We don't need that daft transition. Okay. So we're going to inspect. Okay. Now, I think I'm going to have to adjust this. The degree to which that button moves. I'll figure that out in a wee minute. Actually, maybe I'll figure it out right now. Okay, so videoplayer.js, adjust video size. Okay, so let's just say this play button here. Alright, I don't think there's really a need to make it disappear or anything at this point. So when a resize happens, okay, now I'm going to do a wee console.log here. I'm going to just say console.log, adjust video player size running, and then I'm going to console.log, adjusting big player button. Right, let's try this. So keeping an eye on the old console here. There you go. Now let's do a little flip. Okay, cool. Let's make it a big screen. Okay. Now, what happens if... What happens if we go like this and we say that the opacity is 0? So... Ah, okay. Right. So if I go... Right, console.log, big play button height. Let's just see what it's given us here. Style of undefined. Console.log, big play button height. Why is it not? Okay, here's our big play button. We build the video player. Okay, so let's just say big play button, set attribute, style, opacity of 0, which means that I can take this out. Okay. Now, let's flip it. Funny how it does that strange transition thing. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Alright, now let's assume that we did not take the play button into account here. Suppose we just did this. So what this is going to do then is it's going to put the top of the video player bang on in the center of that video. Now it's kind of difficult to see, but I do believe that that is perfectly at the center of that thing. Yep, it is, right? So okay. So if I want that to be moved into the perfect position, I should get half of that button's height. That's right. So this part here, it would be that minus half of the big play button height, and that should move that button 100% into the center of this. Alright, let's try something else. Get element by ID, big play button dot style, blah 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 blah. Okay. Well, that seems to be doing it. Or maybe not. Ah, right, okay. So I think the problem there, I've got you. Right, we need to change the maximum for that big play button. I think that's what's causing this problem here. So where it says maximum width is 25%, instead of that, Let's bring it right down. 15%. Ah, don't mess with me. I'm kind of lost. I don't know why it's behaving slightly differently on small screens. Now it's acceptable. I mean, it's, you know, it's not too bad. It's not a deal breaker. In fact, it's actually pretty darn good. So I think what I'll do here's what I'll do. Okay, let's say console.log video width is, and I'm gonna say vid dot offset width. Alright. Now, let's do something intelligent. Okay. Here's 948. Okay, let's go a wee bit smaller. Okay, wee bit smaller again. And again. Okay, that's cool. So here's what we'll do. Okay. Right. If vid dot offset width is less than 450, then var nudge value is going to be that. Else nudge value now for some reason it's not liking this, and I have no idea why. Perhaps do you know what? Right in here, big play button, dot style dot opacity is 0. We'll take this out here. Okay, here we go. Okay. Now, let me just console.log nudge value. Okay. Okay, here we go. Alright, cool. So that's a tiny little screen. When we flip this thing, it's a bigger screen and our adjust value changes. Ah, can you believe that? Okay, let's go. Let's make this 860. Alright, that's acceptable. That's acceptable. That's acceptable. That's not. Okay, I think you say math.round. I'm going to just check. JavaScript. Is it ceiling? Okay, let's try a wee bit of that. Maybe that'll help, you know. So, let's just say target top position is math dot seal. So it rounds it up to the nearest integer, and we're going to do that with our target top position. I'll bet you any money that fixes everything. I'll bet you anything. Well, you should have taken the bet. Target top position. That is just so fucking weird. Okay, I am calling that done. Okay, so here's what we do then. On adjust video player, I wonder if there's a case for doing a wee set timeout here of like half a second or something. I've found in the past that doing that can sometimes give pages a wee opportunity to just settle down, you know? And sometimes it can get rid of issues like that. Okay. Do you know, as mad as it sounds, this might be the way to do this. Like, do you see how when I have it do a double, it works? It adjusts it? No, it doesn't. It seems to be that head section plays an important part in all of this. It would appear that it does. So that's going to look rubbish if I do this, right? Yeah, it goes to the top. So clearly, okay, cool. Right, I'll figure that out when I get to the live site. I think it's going to be fixable for sure. But let's just move on. I've certainly spent enough time looking at that shit for one day. So let's get back to the good stuff. I'll clean this up. Alright. Cool. Now I'm seeing a wee bit of this strange lime background colour here. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so now I want to reintroduce these controls here that were causing so much calamity earlier on. So here it is here. Now the controls are hidden. They're on the page, but they're hidden. So not doing too bad. Okay, that's good. The controls are hidden. I'm glad to see that. Right, okay. So let's go back then to the video player JavaScript. And here's what we want to do. Let's take this stuff here. And we're going to introduce our controls here. Like that. Now put in an opacity of 1 just for the moment. Just for the moment. And you can see that we do indeed have a few controls here. That's good. I can also see that, unfortunately, those controls have basically broken this. So I'm going to say that the seek slider dot style dot max width is vid dot offset width. Let's do the same with these video controls. I'm really starting to run out of ideas here, so hopefully this will work. Now, of course, I have to add in that. Okay. Bastard. That is so damn annoying. Okay, well, I was certainly running out of ideas, but I've got one thing. Now, we have a few people in here. We have Gear in the house. Average Joe is here. Somebody's naked. Well, I'll take whatever I can to cheer my day up. The Great Perkin is here. Probably one of the few people on YouTube who knows how to actually use a comma. It's good to see you. I Am Programmer is here. There's always good advice from him. Why not use a background with the play button and the whole pic as a button? I could do that, but I think that's a perfectly legitimate suggestion, Gear. I may do that if I've got challenges. I'll give it a wee go longer though and just see how we get on. I usually find it's something... Oh, hello to you, Edward. Something to do with meta tag, viewport. Okay. Dan is here. Holly Mills is not real. Yeah, the background button suggestion from Gear is excellent. But I'd like to keep playing with this before I do that. But it is certainly an excellent suggestion. So, I'm going to try the most awkward solution imaginable. It's going to take a wee while, but if it works, it'll be cool. Alright. So, I reckon that these things here, now let me just show you what we've got. Right, I am pretty sure that this stuff is breaking the page. These two things here. So you know what I'm going to do, don't you? You know what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a script that dynamically generates these. So we'll start with this seek slider here. So here's what we'll do. Right, you see how we've got this thing here that says seek slider is blah 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 blah. Well, now I'm just going to say var seek slider container, and I'm not going to do anything with it. Now, okay, right around here, you see where we're doing this stuff here? I'm going to take this out, and we've got a thing here for adjust video player size, and we'll take all mentions of the seek slider and the video controls out of here. So here we go, seek slider, and I'm just making sure I've effectively taken it out of the picture, and I have. So if I now load this video page, it will give us the player, but it does not give us any seek slider shenanigans. And okay, we've still got this wee challenge with the header, but well, wee challenge, big fucking giant challenge with the header, more like. I know how to fix it. I think what we should do for this is if we look at this get bounding rect thing, we can say here's our bottom position, and we can go the other way around, so we can subtract that and add that. Place your bets, place your bets. Well, I tell you, man, it was a good run for our money. Okay, now let me just try something. Suppose the nudge value was 70. What does it do? It moves it down. So that tells me that this nudge value should probably be a minus number. Alright, well, we're certainly not having any luck with this today, but I don't think it's catastrophic, to be entirely honest. I mean, I think it's fine. But the thing that I really want to focus on here is the business of dynamically building this. So I'm going to say build seek slider. Okay. So let's do that, right? Function build seek slider. Now this is what I want to create here. I want this. So I'm going to say do you see how we've got this seek slider container here? I'm going to say seek slider container is document create element div. I'm going to say seek slider container dot set attribute ID is seek slider container. I'm going to say seek slider container set attribute now hold on a minute, let's just say style display flex opacity 1. Okay, so that does that. Then I'm going to say vid dot append child of seek slider container. Then I'm going to say var. Now hold on, do we have a mention of a seek slider? All right. Okay. So I'm going to say var seek slider input is document create element input. I'm going to say seek slider input set attribute type. Well, first I'll do the ID. ID is seek slider, then seek slider input set computer stop type range seek slider input set attribute min is 0, max is 100, value is 0, step okay. So that's all the instructions for drawing that thing dynamically. So now I'm going to say seek slider container dot append child of seek slider input. Now I'm taking a guess that because I'm adding that inside the video tag that it's not going to break the page. Place your bets now. Okay. Well, it never broke the page, but I cannot see the damn thing. Seek slider dot container dot style dot border is 3 pix red solid. This is very strange. Background color is red. Let's say margin top is 500. Let's take away this background image here. I cannot see this damn thing. Okay, let's try something else. Seek slider container dot inner HTML equals hello. Okay. Seek slider. Now we are saying hello here. So where the hell is it? Let's just say width is 2000 pixels. Height 4000 pixels. Background color red. Right. Why, oh why is it hiding? Okay, width. Alright, well, I'm going to have to do something else. Give me a wee minute. And I will be right back. Okay, well, congratulations, Gear. Your idea is going to be the winning idea. So that's what we'll do. I just need to heat my hands up, man. My hands are so cold. Oh. Oh. Oh dear. I'm just so cold, man. I can hardly type. Alright, well, let me just heat my hands and then we'll do Gear's idea. Congratulations, Gear. Your idea is the winner. So, that will be the one. It's probably something I should have done right at the start, you know. Simplest ideas are the best and all of that, right? So, I think I've got a clear pathway here, and fuck it, man, I'm going to stay here till 4 o'clock and work on this. So I'm going to be doing about another, we'll do another couple of hours, maybe just under a couple of hours, and we'll see how we get on. And who knows, do you think Gear's idea is going to work? It's certainly an easy idea, you know, and I like that. I mean, what I mean is it's the one with the least moving parts, which is good, you know, and that could be good. So let me just heat my hands up. Hey, can I get a quick coffee? I'll be right back. My hands are so damn cold. I'll be right back. Hang on. I've been huddled over this little heater here just trying to heat my hands up, and I don't know what is wrong with me, I just cannot get heated up. Anyway, right, let's do this. Ready to try Gear's idea. Alright. So, I'm going to kick this one off then by going to Photopia. And we are going to open from computer. I'll head into Opt, Lamp, htdocs, Video Player, Modules, Video Player, Assets, Images, and I want to open these two things up here. Alright, so let me copy this here. Head in here, paste. Alright, you cannot mess with that. I'm going to nudge it up just a wee bit. Right there. Okay, so let's export that one as a PNG, and it's going to be black curtains with play BTN, and this is going to live inside Opt, Lamp, htdocs, Video Player Fin, Modules, Video Player, Assets, Images, and it's alright. Okay, so let's now have a closer look at our video player. And when we build this video player up, we create a poster, that's what it's called, but our one is now going to be called Black Curtains with Play BTN .png. Alright, let's have a super quick refresh. On a small device. Well, I tell you what, Gear, I think you might have just nailed this. I think he might have just nailed this. Okay, so let's look at the code now. Now we've got this big play button here. And now what we're effectively doing, courtesy of Gear, is taking that out. So wherever we see a mention of that big play button, it's gonna go. That's right. It's gonna go. So this thing here, all of this can go. Oh, that feels good, let me tell you, that feels pretty good, damn good. Right, now, we've got another mention. Okay, I think we're just about there. So let's just double check and see that we have indeed removed the big play button. And we're going to head into our videoplayer.php file. I don't think it's here. I'll just double check. Nah, it's not here. Right, okay, so let's load it up. Now that is perfect. That's perfect. That's perfect. This is perfect. Well, I tell you what, man, it's 3 cheers for Gear. I think he's nailed this. What an excellent suggestion. Thanks for that, Gear. I think that's absolutely perfect. I think that's really, really great. Wow, that's so good. Okay. So, let's have a think about this then. Okay, so let's now that we've pretty much solved that, let's bring all of this stuff up here. Okay, I think that we're in good shape. Now, I want to add an event listener. Okay, so what we're going to do then is after we build the video player, and yeah, after we build the video player, I'm going to say vid dot add event listener. I'm going to listen out for a click. When a click happens, I'm going to run play pause. Okay, so let's just have a wee refresh. I'll click on it. Oh, look at that. Well, I tell you what, today belongs to Gear. Today belongs to Gear. He nailed it. Thank you, good sir. You see, this is the power of live streaming, you know. That is absolutely awesome. And here comes Treff. Yeah, man, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. Now, if I had not been live streaming, I might have not even done that. So this is looking absolutely fantastic. I'm loving it. Right. So the next thing we're going to do then, and let's see if we can pick up the pace here. I'm going to see if I can get these controls added. Now previously it was messing up the layout, but it's not messing up the layout now. This is all looking 100% solid. That's excellent. What a team. What a team. That is fantastic. I'm smiling. I'm smiling. That's really, really nice. Okay. So the next step is we are indeed going to add in these controllers here. In fact, let's do a wee commit here. Okay, so the next thing I am going to do is I'm going to reintroduce these little beauties. Now last time this messed up the layout. Will it mess up the layout today? Maybe not. Alright. So over to videoplayer.js and we're going to do this append child vibe. Okay. Well, I tell you what, it's not a bad start. Now I can see that it says the word hello, which is a bit wrong looking. So here we've got a thing called build seek slider. This has turned out to be bullshit. So let's just take that out. Okay, parameter 1, build video player.js, line 64. It has a problem with seek slider container. Okay, that's cool. So all we have to do is go like this. Take this one out. Bring these up. Here we go. Okay, now I'm seeing that this seek slider container here is saying display is none and opacity is 0. Well, that is just not right. So we're gonna say seek slider container dot style dot display equals flex, and the other one of course is our player controls thing. So if we have a look, okay, I've called it video controls here, so let's just say video controls dot style dot display equals flex, and we'll say right around here seek slider container dot style dot opacity is 1 and video controls dot style dot opacity equals 1. Okay. Well, look at those beautiful controls, folks.
Speeds.
That's excellent. I tell you what, man, that is pretty darn cool. I need to start taking your advice more often, Gear. Now, unfortunately, we've got this bullshit here going on. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to say seek slider container dot style dot max width is vid dot offset width plus px. Let's do it with this one. So video controls dot style dot blah 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 blah. So video controls, and we're gonna refresh that. Oh, you miserable swine. Okay, let me try an experiment. Set timeout. Let's wait 4 seconds and say seek slider container dot remove and video controls dot remove. Now the thing I'm interested in seeing is does the page fix itself when they disappear? It does. The page 100% fixes itself when they disappear. Well, that's pretty interesting. So now I'm going to just remove the controls. Ah, now it's solid. That tells me that the controls are cool. Or rather, no, it tells me that the controls are the problem. If I remove the... Check this. Right, we've got a problem. We have a problem. So there, what did we just do? We did not remove the video controls and the problem stayed there. So that is proof that the video controls are causing the problem here. 100 gazillion%. Again, if I go like this, I can move around and watch it snaps back. Boom. See that? So that's telling me that these video controls are most definitely causing a problem. Now, let's see if we can figure out why that is. I'm going to say background color, yellow, border 1 pix red solid. Okay, now I'm going to do a really stupid thing with regards to widths and whatnot. Suppose I say width is 10%, width is 100 pixels. Okay, so you can see that that caused problems there. Now, or rather it solved nothing. So, let's see if there's anything else we can do. Okay. Right, 1 pix red solid. Now hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I was meaning to do that to the player controls. Player controls. Right, here they are here. Alright. So let's go to these player controls here. And let's just say that we've got that going on here. Alright, there's our player controls. And when they go away, everything is cool. Now, suppose we say max width is 200 pixels. Still ruining everything. And away it goes. Right, okay, so that's not working. Let's add in a little important. And let's say width is 100 or 200. And I'll add an important here. Okay. Okay, I think I know what's happening. I think I know what's happening. I don't believe that this is a CSS error. I think that the error is that there's just so much going on this page that the buttons simply cannot fit in. And I think it's as simple as that. And I think that if I flip this and go like this, you'll see that it's solid, you know. So this could be one of these unique situations where I just accept the way things are. Okay. Okay. So what I'm saying is that issue with the thing going too big, I believe that was happening. Yeah, I believe that was happening because there's so much in these buttons here. And I think it was just freaking out when it was going to the smaller screen. I think that's it. And I don't think that's necessarily something to worry about, you know. So what I'm going to do then is we've got our play thing here. There it is. And what I think I'd like to do now then is just activate all of this other stuff here. Before I do that, okay. Oh, okay. So, whoops. Jeez, I never meant that. Okay. Okay, so we build the video player. We adjust the player size. Now, after I've built the video player, and probably before I even adjust the video player size, I'm gonna initialize the actual player. And this is something that happens with the help of a whole bunch of event listeners. And let me show you what I mean. Okay. All right. So over to our video player.js, right? I think I'm going to say activate video player. Now let's just say function activate video player, and I'll paste in all of that stuff here, and I'm going to just go through each of these things one by one. I'll start with this play. Now look at this. Right, one moment. Damn, give me a wee second here. Okay, this was a mistake. Well, not a mistake, but this is actually going to be now happening. It's going to happen here with this, you know. Okay, so what I'm going to do with this then, as much as it may seem a wee bit mad, is I'm going to comment out everything and just gradually activate each and every one of these little beauties. So here's our video. Oh. Okay, so it says cannot read property, blah 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 on video player 98. So it's saying here okay, it's looking for a thing called video settings div, and I don't think we've got it. Let's have a look. I'm going to copy. Fuck. Where is it? Ah, do you know what it is? I've taken the settings out of this for the moment. I'll bring them back later on. So okay. Okay, so I'm going to do kind of a variation of that. If I say vid dot add event listener, click, and then if I just say play pause, then it means that when this thing loads, if I click on it,
Speed swap.
there we go.
We need.
That's excellent.
We need.
Okay, that's good. Perfect. So there's one thing added, right? Now let's keep on going with this. The next thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take all of this out here, or in. And the idea here is that when we build the video player, and we give these sliders and all of that an offset of 1, they're actually going to have an offset of 0. And check this out. So we have no controls, but when we hover and go out, the controls magically appear and disappear. And we can play from here. And that is absolutely beautiful. Alright. Now, let's see what else we've got. I'll do the easy ones, right? Okay, let's bring back this vid seek thing. So I'm going to look for vid seek. Here it is here. Now, it's on videoplayer.js. Okay, so we'll have a wee function down here. We don't need this. Okay, so what this should do is, when I play the video,
Speed's what we need. What we need. We need fast speed. We need greasy fast speed's what
we can now use our seeker to jump. And I tell you what, man, that is working perfectly. So if I go,
greasy we need fast speed. Speed's what we need.
that is beautiful. It's really, really smooth. So that's good. Alright, let's go back. Now let's get some more low-hanging fruit here. Let's get the volume slider working. So this is a volume slider here. Okay. So we're gonna establish volume. So let's say n establish volume. Now I'm just having a quick look. Okay, so that is establish volume. Now let's go back up here. So we run establish volume, and here we've got our volume slider, add event listener change. So it's going to do something like that. Okay. Okay, so all of this here should basically get this slider thing working. The volume slider, that is. So let me save this. Okay, here we go.
Speed's what we need. Greasy fast. We need fast speed.
Okay, that's not quite working, but I just looked at something else that caught my eye there. And when we get a time update, I'm going to run seek time update. Now, seek time update. is going to get it so that the wee purple dot follows the video, if you know what I mean. So here we go.
Speed's what we need.
You see it moving now?
Greasy, fast speed.
And in fact,
We need greasy, fast speed.
that's really good.
Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
Okay, the next thing we want to do is get the background changing on this volume slider here. So, let's see if we can figure out how to do that. Now I'm going to guess that establish volume gets called twice here. Okay, so let's have a wee look at this. So establish volume, that's good. Now, let's go back here. Okay, I can add this one. This is nothing to do with volume, but what that's going to do is if you hit the space bar, it's going to play or stop the video. Check it out.
Speed's what we need. We need
So now we can do that with the space bars. Kinda cool. Now, what else can we do? Okay. Okay, so let me just say establish volume. So I'm gonna play.
Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
That's great. That is really, really great. And if I move this up here, it should be a wee bit more responsive. It is.
Speed's what we need. We need greasy, fast speed.
Perfect.
We need greasy, fast speed.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Speed's what we need. We need greasy.
Brilliant. This is, I tell you what, man, ever since I took on board Gear's advice, life is suddenly looking kind of good. Alright, so what else can we do? Let's do skip to position. So we're going to get a little function here called skip to, and here it is. I'll have it downstairs. Okay, so here we go. So what this is going to do is if we play and then hit this, see it jumps back. Here it jumps forward, jumps back, jumps forward. Now, another thing that could be done here is on our videoplayer.php page. Okay, I'm gonna just say here, preferred res is high, and then return. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna change the video. Maybe not. Alright, let's go to init video player. Init video player. Right, I'm going to just manually change this to high. It should give us a different video. And it does, which means I can test this. So here's our thing skipping forward. Here it is going back. And that is absolutely beautiful. That's really, really great. I'm loving it. Oh. There's a mistake. So when we hit play, this button here should change and it should say pause. So let's find play pause. I know it's here somewhere. Here it is here. And it's basically just this thing. So here we go. I'm going to go like that. See, it goes to pause. There it's on, switches to play, goes back to pause, switches to play, goes back to pause. Now another thing I want to just check here. Right, see when I'm skipping that forward. It runs vid.play. Now because it's running vid.play, this button should change like that. So that means that if I skip, say I'm paused and I go here, you see. Okay. Okay, I think I added the wrong one in. Ah, right, okay. Okay, so that's actually seek time update that's doing that. So let me look at that. So n seek. Aye, it's this video seek. So this part here would get the pause. Here we go. So we are here. I'm going to seek. It gives me the play button. I'm going to stop. I'm going to seek. You miserable swine. Well, maybe I need to stick it here. There you go. Perfect. That's perfect. All right. That is really, really great. Brilliant. I'm loving that. I'm absolutely loving that. So the next thing is we'll go back to this player and I'm going to get toggle full screen working now. Okay, so here goes the full screen toggle thing. There it is. And we can hit escape. And I tell you what, man.
Always remember, you're not alone. As long as you don't break privilege, there's no harm in phoning a friend, a mentor, or a respected colleague whose opinion you trust. Sometimes the right choice is much more obvious from the outside. It's important to surround yourself with...
Alright, so that's not entirely perfect. So okay, I'm just going to quickly check something. Not an urgent thing, but I'm going to just say JavaScript video get close full screen event. How can I capture exit of that? Right, that's what I want. Okay, so let's try this. Alright, now I'm going to just say console.log full screen changed. So keeping an eye on the console here. Full screen changed. Full screen changed. So basically every time it does full screen changed, I'm going to say establish volume. Okay, so what that's going to do is something like this. Okay, I've muted this. Oh, hang on.
But the unfortunate truth is that no matter how prepared you are...
Right, that's lowered the volume. It had lowered the volume. Now I'm going to maximize the volume.
It would be beneficial to wrap up with a discussion...
It's maximized.
...the warning signs of an ethical breach and what to do once a breach has occurred. Remember, only you can save you.
Come on.
There's no way to save yourself. Your own conscience is going to be your first line of defense in most situations. Trust your gut. If you're worried something isn't right, ask
Minimize. Yeah, that's acceptable. Okay. So that's looking really good. We've not got too much longer to go here. Right, the next thing I want to do is get this button working. So this is our volume button. So I'm going to just search the, this is an older file that I wrote that was kind of good. Okay. Now, I don't think I've got anything for muting. So let's see if we can find something that will do that. I'm going to say JavaScript video on, click. Now let's just say mute volume. Mute volume. Okay. Video muted attribute. This could be it. So what do we do? Ah, okay. Muted. Right. Let's try something then. So here's our thing, and here's our video player. Now on the video player, there is a thing called volume hyphen button. Let's have a wee look at that. Not much happening here. Now I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go like that. Okay, there's not much happening there either. So let's now say okay, var volume btn is document get element by id volume button. Now when we run this thing, okay, I'm going to go like this. Volume button, add event listener, click, and when that happens, I'm going to say mute, unmute, like that. So down here, okay, so I'm going to console.log mute value is vid dot muted. I'm going to guess that that's going to say false. So if I go to this thing and click on that, yeah, sure enough, it does say false. So let's say if vid dot muted is equivalent to false, then vid dot muted equals true. Otherwise, vid dot muted equals false. So here we go. So I'm going to play. It's muted. It's unmuted.
Hello, and thanks for tuning in. Of course, if you utilize here, you'll be on your way to becoming.
That's awesome. Now another thing that I'm going to do is I'm just trying to visualize how I want this to work. When they hit mute, I'm going to change the volume to 0. So okay, now I'm seeing a thing called volume slider. Okay. So I'm going to say down here that when we mute something, volume slider dot value is going to equal 0. Let's try it. Maybe not. Changing volume slider to 0. Okay. Right, let's just try another technique. Let's say vid.volume is 0, then establish volume. Let's try that. So here we go. Okay. Well, let's try something else. Set attribute value 0. Well, it does at least say that the value is 0. So that's there. Now, suppose we say set timeout and we wait just a wee quarter of a second and then we run this. damn. Right, I'm going to get this thing going. So volume slider. Add event listener change. Vid.volume is that. Okay, so okay, let me look at this. Right, I've got you. So let me head down to the muted thing. So I'm going to go like that. I'm going to add in a little 0 here. Okay, here we go. So when we play, all right, volume slider, set attribute size 0%, 100%. Here we go again. Why would it no change? Oh, so we need to take the flipping heck. Well, it's all a little bit desperate here, but I'll keep on going. Okay, so let's just say volume slider dot value is 0, and instead of saying vid muted is true, I'll do that. Now, it should have the same effect as muting. That works. So muting.
But the unfortunate truth is that no matter how prepared, when the right
That's fine. Now I could have added a pause button in there or a wee cross or something, but
Your own conscience situations. Worried something isn't
nah, that'll do. It's not perfect, but it's acceptable. Right, this is looking really good now. So we'll take this out. It's not a proper mute. I'm actually just turning the volume to 0. But that's acceptable for me, you know. Nobody will even notice. So everything's looking beautiful here. Okay, this is great. This is great. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Now there's a few wee spaces, but it helps me, you know. Yeah, that's it. I'm happy. I'm totally happy with that. So this is looking really, really good.
prepared you are, there are going to be people who have your best interests.
I suppose the only thing that I could do perhaps just as the last thing here is update this clock here, you know, with the time of the video. I think that would be a nice note on which to finish today. So, how do we do that? Well, let's have a wee look. Okay, so there's a thing here called seek time update. And seek time update basically populates all of that inner HTML stuff and whatnot. So if we go to the bit that says build video player, now here's build video player, and in fact, let me do this right. Right, if we go to activate video player, so here's activate video player, and right at the end of activate video player, I'm going to just say seek time update. And what that means is that when I refresh this screen, it should show us how long the video is. Well, we can't see it, but you miserable something. Alright, well, let's try something else. Let's go to N, seek time update. So let's just see if we can get the video duration. Dot duration is vid dot duration. Now what are we getting here? Duration is not a number. Alright. I'm going to try a set timeout. Just in case it needs a wee second or something to figure that out. It does need a wee second or something to figure that out. Well, that's interesting. Now I wonder how long it needs. maybe... Well, guess what? We probably don't even need it. Because when you think about it, when this page loads, we get... Yeah, that's right. That's right. So here's what we'll do. The only way that that messes us up is if the page loads and somebody hovers, right? But the moment we start playing, then the moment we play, we are in the free love freeway. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to take that out of here. Okay. Now. Do you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to leave it. I'm calling it done. I've spent so long on this thing. I think it's time for me to blow the whistle. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to blow the whistle on this. So, because I think what we've got is acceptable and I have to move on, you know. So we'll just say second last day finished. Alright, that's awesome. Okay. So I'm really pleased with this, you know. Now, I suppose what we could do, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try a wee experiment. Let's try... Right, I've got an idea. I'm going to look at play pause. Now there's a thing here called started play is true. So okay, here's what we'll do. Okay, I'm gonna add in a set interval here. And this is gonna run every half second. It's gonna say video duration is, and it's gonna be vid dot duration. So let's just refresh that. Now immediately it's getting to the good stuff there. Let's bring it down to like tenths of a second. Interesting. Okay, well let's try something else. Let's say var count is 0. Count plus plus. Count joining on. Okay, so I can see that the first one was duff, but the next one was cool. So if I was to say, let's wait 2 seconds before we do this, or 2 tenths, that works. Okay. Now, that's an interval. Okay, I don't know if JavaScript do whiles. I don't think it has. Nah. Let's try something else. Set interval while. How to combine a to-do loop with a set interval. Okay. Okay, I need to look up JavaScript clear interval. Alright, this is looking good. So let's just say function attempt establish initial duration. Okay. So I'm going to say var attempt establish initial duration is set interval, and it's going to be check for duration. I'm going to run that every 0.2 of a second. So I'm going to say function check for duration. Now let me just say console.log checking for duration. Alright, so that should just say checking for duration over and over and over again. This will be the last thing I'm doing. Checking for duration, there it is right there. Okay, now the question is, how do we switch this off? How do we switch this off? Okay, well, there's a thing that is called started play, and I'm going to say if started play is true, stop the thing. So I'm going to say stop attempt estimate init duration. That's right. Now this little beauty here is going to say clear interval, and the interval name is attempt est initial duration. Okay, so let's try this. So we're checking. Now I'm going to play. Okay, so it says it cannot figure out this thing. So we're going to go like this. And take this upstairs. So now it's available everywhere. Let's try again. So checking for duration. And there it stops. Perfect. Ah, that's excellent. Alright, now that's very good. I'm liking it. Okay, so okay, let's console.log vid.duration. So, okay, well that wasn't much use. I'll have to do this really fast here. Okay. If vid.duration is false, or if no vid duration, let's just say console.log not found. Okay, so that worked. But if we've got a vid dot duration, then we are gonna flipping heck, what are we gonna do? Okay, so it's going to be called seek time update. So as we do all of this stuff, if we get the video duration, we run seek time update. Now I'm going to just go like this. And now you can see that when I hover over it, it does a fantastic job here. Now, one other thing I'm going to do is going to head upstairs and I'm going to say var duration established equals false. And then I'm going to go back to 202. And at this point, I'll say duration established is true. Or maybe that happens on seek time update. So we go like that. Duration established is true. We head back to line 202. And we say if, instead of saying if started play is true, let's say if duration established is true. Okay, so let's try this. Now, I'm hovering and you can see that I can now see the video time here. If we play, this is beautiful. So now when the page loads, I can see that video duration straight away. That is a beautiful wee bit of code, that. It's all about the logic, folks, you know. I'm really bad at mathematics. Terrible. I'm terrible at spelling, and I'm not too good at remembering things. But I'm good at logic, you know. People who know me well tell me that. And this was all about a wee bit of logic, you know. We load the page and we just establish that duration as quickly as we can. Now, I suppose could maybe make that 0.2 of a second, just give people a wee bit of breathing space. And I think that's a really great note on which to end this. It's just awesome. So as we load it, I mean, you can see the duration straight away there. I think that's awesome. Alright, so that was a good day. I would say that that was a day saved by Gear with his excellent suggestion. Thank you very much for that, folks, especially Gear there, who definitely saved the day. I was struggling, you know. Now, let's pretend that that loaded perfectly. Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, let's definitely pretend that that loaded perfectly. You know, what we can do is a wee pop-up if they're on an iPad that says, hey, gonna get an iPad Pro.
Tuning into the final unit of this CLE.
Okay, so I am not particularly worried about that resizing thing, because I think it's to do with all of these controls here. There's a whole lot of stuff to fit in here, and I think that if I took that out or built a simplified version for smaller screens, I'm pretty sure we'll be okay, you know. This thing at the bottom here requires about 400-500, maybe even more pixels. So that's what's causing the issue there. And I tell you, folks, that's fine. And that's something that can be fixed quite easily. I may have to build an alternative and simplified control panel thing. for smaller screens, but that should be easy. Here's our original video.
Speed's what we need.
So now we've got exactly what we want. As you can see, the video is looking beautiful. When we hover over it, we get these beautiful controls. You'll notice that I've given them the same colours as Speed Coding Academy. Do you like that? Do you like it? Do you like it? So we've got that happening. We've got our seek thing working. We've got full screen functionality back. We've got volume. In fact, check this out. I'm going to put the volume almost at zero. And look at this. If I refresh the screen, it remembers the volume. Look, we'll go nearly full. Even if I go somewhere else and go back, look at that. It remembers the volume. It's absolutely beautiful. We've got it figuring out the video duration from the get-go. We've got our skip ahead, move back, pause works. These options here, this was originally for the standard way. I don't know if I'll get that working or not. I might. I think it would be a fucking amazing feature to have, you know. So the idea with that, in fact, I'll just show you because it's a really, really cool thing. Just for a wee bit of fun before we finish. So if you think about this edit button here, you're gonna love this, right? To anyone who was wondering why the hell would you take ages to build one of these things, I'll show you why. I will show you why. So here's why. I'm gonna say edit button, set attribute, on click, open modal, dig this. Now, what on earth is happening here? Well, it's the Trongate framework. That means that everything is easy. You know how easy it is to make one of those modals in Trongate? Let me show you. You just say, let's have a div with a class of modal, and in this case, an ID of dig this. We're going to have a modal heading, and then underneath it, we're going to have a modal body with a wee bit of lorem. And check this out. We'll refresh. And now I'm going to hit this edit button. And as you can see, now we've got a modal thing that pops up here. And so it's actually quite easy to do this. We can also go in here and add in a little button like this. We can say close. And we can just say on click equals close modal. And folks, look, we open it, we close it. Would you like the button to be clear? Oh, you're one of those people that likes clear buttons. Alt, class is Alt. Check it out. No third-party libraries. I think we will add that tomorrow. I think that's going to be fucking awesome. I think that is going to be fucking awesome. Because it's worth having. Alright. Well, thanks again, folks, for being here. I'm really, really loving this video player. It has taken me quite a long time. But finally, we have the features that we would probably like to have here. I think that this is looking pretty good, you know. It's looking pretty good. Yep. It's looking pretty good. And see, when they do a note like that, I mean, all I can do is I'll get it so that it automatically figures out the topic. It automatically figures out the headline. And I'll just add the date in, you know. So basically, if somebody adds 2 notes, it'll go like that, and it'll add, okay, here's the subject, blah, blah, here's the date. And then when they do another, it goes, here you go, blah, 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 and it adds another note in. It's going to be fantastic. Oh, it's going to be so great. So thanks once again for being here, folks. As you can see, I don't care about emails or YouTube likes, but I check this every day. And I'm going to be pushing these GitHub stars probably for the next year. We got one last night that I was really chuffed about, and we got one the day before. We really need to average at about 3 GitHub stars per day to get a top framework by this time next year. So if you haven't done so already, please give this thing a star if you can. And that'll be that. Thanks again, everybody, for your help, especially Gear there with his excellent day-saving suggestion. Folks, I'm probably not going to be live streaming tomorrow, just so you know, because I'm going to be working on the actual Speed Coding Academy site and adding all of this functionality here, you know. So you'll probably not see me tomorrow. Like I say, I'm going to take this across to the actual Speed Coding Academy site, and I don't know how long it will take, but I think that we're absolutely on the right track with this. I'm really, really loving this video player. It's doing everything I wanted. On a little small screen, it gives us a low-res video. Well, so that is all, folks. In fact, I think that's a pretty darn good way to end this stream, don't you think? So thank you very much indeed. Stay cool, and I'll see you.
That's all, folks. That's all, folks.